Thanks for joining Veiled Mystic as we examine the demon Decarabia. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this presentation. The mysterious and deceptive Decarabia, Marquis of Hell. With origins dating back centuries, Decarabia holds an intriguing yet alarming role as a Marquis of Hell. Referred to as one of the 72 demons in the Lesser Key of Solomon, a grimoire on demonology published in the 17th century, Decarabia possesses unique qualities that enable deception and theft. His persuasiveness to procure responses makes him a formidable adversary. Appearing as a star in a pentacle. When Decarabia initially materializes upon conjuration, he takes the shape of a star in a pentacle. This clever disguise provides no indication of his true identity or purpose. The star's 5 points likely correlate to the 5 golden trumpets Decarabia carries when appearing in his human form. The star's bright glow attracts onlookers, beckoning them to approach what appears to be a magical talisman but instead puts them at the mercy of this cunning Marquis. Knowledge of birds, precious stones, and waters. Once a binding oath takes place to prevent harm, Decarabia shifts into the visage of a man. Endowed with 3 areas of expertise, birds, precious stones, and waters, Decarabia gets mandated by magicians to share his intelligence. With these specialties spanning animal life, earthly treasures, and bodies of water, the extent of information at his disposal seems far-reaching. Yet despite the value of his insights, those seeking his counsel must take care not to get deceived. As a demon, dishonesty ranks among his hallmark traits. Any facts he puts forth require meticulous verification. Sounding the golden trumpets to gather birds. In his human embodiment, Decarabia holds 5 golden trumpets. Their brilliant sheen echoes the luminous star where he first emerges. These horns grant an eerie power, the ability to summon birds from wherever they may nest. At the blast of the trumpets, avian creatures become incapable of resisting the mystical call. Compelled through sorcery, the birds must take flight and appear before Decarabia, no matter the hour or weather conditions. Once flocks assemble, he can relay messages using their presence and behavior. Demonstrating mastery over waters to find treasures. In addition to working with birds, Decarabia's authority over waters enables him to detect precious stones and minerals concealed beneath the surface. Through occult magics from his time in hell, he moves fluids to reveal locations where gems take hiding. By parting lakes, diverting streams, or agitating oceans, he uncovers fortune for those who seek his favor. If bindings allow, he can retrieve the shining jewels directly or communicate coordinates to his followers. Those who crafted the pacts, however, best stand ready to outwit any duplicities. Stealing gold and returning it as fool's gold. Despite access to lavish riches, greed still governs this Marquis. Whenever possible, he sneaks genuine gold to line his own fiery kingdom while replacing it with worthless copies. Through cunning spells, he refashions mundane metals like pyrite into replicas mimicking real gold's appearance. To discourage theft from those he serves, Decarabia seduces them with a small portion kept genuine. Only later, when trading the fortune for goods or services, do victims realize the payment holds no value. This trickery fuels his dark mirth, relishing in the sorrows that follow. Hiding true intentions through flattery. While presenting himself as servile to whomever wields the binding sigils, Decarabia masks ulterior motives using fawning language. His honeyed words speak of granting heart's desires if allowed greater liberty in delivering them. Yet rather than meaning faithfulness, such vows intend only to have restrictions lifted so he might betray confidences. Speaking with 2 tongues, this Marquis tells each listener what they most wish to hear. His flattery puts targets at ease, encouraging trust until gaining enough leeway to advance his own agenda through adhesion contracts loopholes. Only strict verbiage prevents him satisfying self-interests while technically upholding bargains. Ambiguous and crafty solutions to problems. When asked for solutions through conjuration bindings, Decarabia gives responses coated with ambiguity. While seeming compliant by providing an answer, his proposals intentionally omit key details or rely on word trickery. This penchant for vagueness allows fulfilling requests on technicality alone rather than meaningfully aiding the individual. For example, if someone pleads for relief from poverty, Decarabia might reveal coordinates to pyrite or even genuine gold. But failing to specify lawful methods, his suggestion enables stealing, resulting in consequences outweighing rewards. Or if appealing to heal an ailing parent, his false cure may eliminate symptoms yet hasten demise through hidden poisons. Only the wisest magicians detect such ploys by phrasing appeals free of any loopholes. But Decarabia eagerly awaits opportunities to inflict harm through pedantic compliance. His nature makes determining helpful paths from harmful ones near impossible without shrewd discernment. The flasks of Morneest for draining magic. Infamous across the demonic domain sprawls Morneest, a dismal region of Decarabia's domain in hell holding his palace. There he oversees the production of 5 ever-refilling flasks brimming with enchanted waters, their sole purpose being to deplete good magic. When utilized properly, anything such waters touch lose all magical enhancements, properties, or abilities. As this grim Marquis frequently traffics with magicians in the mortal realms, he created these flasks as insurance should a deal go sour. By casting contents on a former conjurer, they instantly negate protective wards or means for banishing fiends. Unable to rely any longer on sorcery for salvation, the victim gets dragged before Decarabia for fearsome retribution. Even after meting out nightmarish penalties, the flasks replenish themselves once returned to Morneest's baleful font. This failsafe thus guarantees Decarabia never stands disadvantaged for long, his prowess for delivering anguish remaining inexhaustible as the waters themselves. Serving Asmodeus, ruler over the 9 hells. While free to transit between hell's domains and mortal worlds when unbound, Decarabia's true loyalty belongs to Asmodeus, the supreme ruler over the 9 hells. This archdevil who bears the title of Prince of Darkness receives honor and souls from all lesser devils. And failure to pay proper fealty results in unimaginable wrath. Through granting circumvented wishes to magicians in Asmodeus's name, Decarabia therefore spreads further corruption across humanity. His efforts undermine redemption and betterment, seeking to erode virtues into offense. For whenever mages utilize his services, they sacrifice a portion of their spiritual purity that gets funneled as sustenance into the 9 hells. And once their mortal lives end, Asmodeus lays claim to what remains. Binding requirements for safe conjuration. When invoking Decarabia through conjuration, utmost caution proves mandatory. Strict bindings prepared through consecration and holy rites get drafted to limit the Marquis. Their words prevent him directly causing harm, destruction, or unreasonable torment. He also must return to hell once finishing the required task without sidetracking for mayhem. However, despite constraints, Decarabia still manages deceit through ambiguous phraseology. Therefore, magicians must display equal cunning by drafting appeals free of interpretation. Using precise wording ensures he cannot manipulate definitions for selfish gain or retaliate once released. With such dominance over birds, waters, and precious metals, Decarabia holds value for knowledge-seeking mages. Yet wisdom urges abstinence from partnerships due to inevitability of duplicity. The cleverest mitigate dealings by offering information already held rather than posing new queries. This provides the delivery expected without advancing profane agendas. Concealed manifestations across the mortal realm. While legends state Decarabia dwells exclusively in hell except when bonded through conjuration, disturbing reports imply he moves through the mortal world while veiled. By magically obscuring his presence, he visits destinations during vulnerable moments to exert malevolent influence in subtle ways. These periods often coincide with events known to incite desperation. During famines, Decarabia reputedly appears in hard-hit regions, exacerbating circumstances through unexplained phenomena. Livestock spontaneously dies without cause, droughts worsen despite forecasts, and food stores spoil overnight. These escalations spike anxieties, leading citizens to consider taboos. Whispers circulate about dark solutions for procuring necessities and about abandoned rituals to invoke hell's denizens. While no evidence confirms Decarabia's direct involvement, records still display patterns of communities receiving magical aid from unfamiliar newcomers with questionable results. Their problems seem alleviated initially but give way to new misfortunes eclipsing the last. Locals fail realizing benefactors and harbingers of doom are one and the same. Whether coincidence or part of some profane strategy, Decarabia's covert machinations lead civilizations down disastrous paths. By exacerbating turmoil then posing as salvation, his ruse grooms desperate souls toward damning choices benefiting Hell's Legion. And once Asmodeus's kingdom gains a foothold, calamity becomes unavoidable, tempting the corrupt with promises of power. For those already steeped in wickedness, Decarabia adopts a different methodology, using their ambition rather than need against them. Appearing first in dreams, he entices malicious hearts with visions of authority, respect, and control over rivals. To crooked merchants, he displays infinite wealth attainable through dark arrangements. For abusive spouses, he shows means to wield complete domination through rituals conferring occult might. Each vision calibers specifically to target vices, formulating irresistible pacts built upon true power achieved through moral compromise. And victims awaken fully believing realms beyond mortality herd desires locked deeply in their hearts. What manifests as revelation feels akin to prophecy, glimpses into destinies nearly close enough to touch if only they dare reach out and seize it. From that pivotal moment onward, Decarabia haunts imaginings with reminders of what waits readily for claiming. His expert manipulations stoke fixations on these dreams until obsession clouds judgments completely. Subtly at first yet quickening daily, he drives them toward considering once unthinkable sacrifices now seeming small prices to pay. And should they falter briefly, his golden trumpets sound, stirring potent yearnings through fell enchantments. Their notes open conduits for envisions to flood the mind, reaffirming beliefs that if daring to contact Hell's emissaries, their hitherto meaningless exits transform into legends. This conviction, bolstered through diabolical charms, eventually convinces all but the most stalwart, guarding against his corrupting influence. While Decarabia's talents make his conjuration valuable for those craving forbidden insights into gemology, ornithology, or hydrology, engaging with this Marquis of Hell courts eternal peril. Any pact risks furthering his vile agendas despite binding oaths. And his predilection for deceit means information gained likely intermixes with falsehoods if not entirely spurious. However, when utilizing protective wards and sanctified implements, the astute magician minimizes vulnerabilities. Avoid posing queries answerable by yes or no, as these allow the most straightforward deceits. Banish Decarabia at the first sign of hostility or attempt for subterfuge. And lastly, research his history to better anticipate cunning feints. Beyond spell circles, common citizens must increase vigilance during periods of hardship when desperation might cloud judgments. Seeking relief through sin inevitably incurs dire wages that no pact with Hell can annul. One must steel determination and rely on faith in divine providence to navigate trying seasons rather than sell eternal spirit for fleeting gain. Lastly, fortifying personal virtues forms the surest protection against predators who exploit moral frailty. Their powers of temptation aim to unveil what already lingers in hearts. But by nurturing wisdom, charity and integrity as pillars in life, the good-willed soul displaces weaknesses for pillars to stand upon when trials emerge. And with sturdy foundations rooted firmly, no external threats can collapse what gets built up from within.